Every family has a history unique in their own. In some families, this history grows over time, eventually becoming a mythology. The history of my own family, the Richters of the Finger Lakes region of upstate New York, is a long, storied saga with a slice of nearly everything mixed in. My family's past has entered into my mind lately because I've recently moved far from home to the American South, making a new home along the way. I'm realizing that the past lives in us. I have felt it, and I feel it now. What I've always felt resurfaced a few weeks ago when I left home. I looked up at a tree, crawling into my car to begin the 15-hour drive south to my new home, and my eyes fell upon a familiar sight, a wooden cross in the tree's branches. Now, I'm not a particularly religious person. I actually have almost no religious faith at all, but this cross has always meant something to me. It's older than me, first of all, as it's been in its tree for nearly 26 years. It's withstood storm, sun, snow, lingering on through New York's summers, falls, and winters. The cross is part of a house that once stood here, my grandparents' old house, actually, which exploded in 1992 from a gas leak while my grandparents were vacationing in Florida. My grandfather, my dad's dad, came back to New York the very next day, and as it was November, he made his way straight to the voting booth that morning, only visiting his exploded home after casting his ballot. To this day, his priorities that morning are felt by me. No one died in the explosion, but much was lost and much was gained. A new house was built in its place, of course, which my dad moved us into when my grandparents passed away years later. The cross still remains in the tree, though, watching my sisters and I through middle school, through prom dates and college visits, through first jobs, and through simple walks through the woods. I've always been a walker. Walking is when we reflect on what we felt. When I walk, sometimes I think of a word that surfaced in Roland Barthes' book, Camera Lucidum, which has struck me emotionally recently, almost like a wound or like an injury. The word is Noeme, a word that means, that has been. That has been. When I think of what has been, I think of my family. I think of my mother and my sisters and my dog and my grandparents and my dad. And I think of that cross, that which has been, but also that which will be. The cross lasted longer on that property than I did. I'm in the South now, and I'm happy. And I don't know where I'll be next. I don't know when I'll be back. I don't even know where I'll end up. But the cross in the tree, in the place where I laid my roots, where my life grew up, that has been, and I've always felt that it is still with me.